Welcome to Small Biz Life, episode 121.
Hashtag
No more excuses.
Does this sound familiar?
Oh my God, I have so much to do today.
Don't forget to breathe.
But I have almost 400 emails in my inbox and 30 phone calls to make.
Have you looked into getting a virtual assistant yet?
Oh, and I need to schedule all my social media posts.
Did you drink anything today?
I had coffee.
Did you eat today?
Did I mention coffee's a bean?
This is Small Biz Life.
Hey guys, welcome to what I'm considering the first episode of 2018. I was told that no, we dropped one last week. That was technically 2018, but I don't care. I'm considering this the first episode.
Yes. Well, technically, we released them on Sunday at noon, even though it's officially a Monday show, just to make sure that it's always up there for Monday. And so this is the first full week of January 2018, and welcome to it.
I don't want your excuses.
Hashtag.
So we hope that you guys had a great holiday and that you are ready to get back to work. So we like to have a theme every year. The 2017 theme was Dream Big. And our 2018 theme is No Excuses.
Nope. No excuses. Done. Okay. There we go. Episode over.
Cut, wrap, done. Okay, no. It's not really that easy. Because if it was, then we wouldn't have any excuses and we'd be doing everything that we would want to be doing.
It's really easy to do research on excuses because people use them so much and they have them so much. And it's not because people are bad or people are trying to necessarily be jerks and deceive and trick other people. It's just excuses are a way, that we use to make ourselves feel better when we don't get done what we need to. And maybe it's to make ourselves feel better. Maybe it's so we don't look so bad to other people. But these are the things that we use to try and give ourselves cover. And we think maybe let's try a new approach this year. And instead of needing excuses, let's try and have a year where we don't need excuses.
Right. And so, here's kind of the way we think about it. So you have a pretty excuse-free life if you are completely happy with everything that's going on in your life. Because it's typically when we're unhappy, but we're not making progress, that's where the excuses come in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm unhappy, but this happened. Yeah, I want my business to do better, but this. Okay. It typically, the excuses lie in the buts.
Yep.
And so what we thought we'd do today is we kind of talk about some excuses that we used in 2017, and kind of brainstorm with you like how you can get past some of your excuses. So, I think 2017 was actually like an amazing year for us. But I don't think that we hit, all of the business goals that we had.
No.
And we'll talk about why that was. But I mean, if you think about like we got Jeff out of his job, we paid him, every month, which was awesome. We got pregnant, which was cool. Which we never.
It was a great year.
Yeah. We paid all of our bills. We built up savings. We did all the things that we, I think
needed
to do. Right. But I think, there were some things with the business that I think we needed to kind of hone in on. So as we were planning for this episode, we kind of sat down and said, okay, what held us back? Like what excuses did we have? So I think the first excuse, and we've talked about this a couple times on the show, is that our goals were too small.
Yeah.
Which at the time we didn't think they were. No,
we thought they were too big.
Right. But like, getting somebody out of their, 6-figure job, we thought that was going to be massive. And it wasn't as massive as we thought because you left your job in March.
Yeah. So year over, done. Woohoo.
Right. And that was kind of like the big thing, right? Like everything was building to that. And then we got that done before first quarter ended. And so we were like, okay, done, cut, wrap,
Yeah, we actually kind of took it easy over the next couple months. We went out, and they were for good reasons. Like a friend got married, we went to that, and it was out of town, but it was a lot of fun. We went on vacation. We were having a great old time.
Mm-hmm. And then we found out we were pregnant. And I know one of my excuses was that I used the pregnancy as an excuse really early in the pregnancy. So, I'm older. So I was 37 when I got pregnant, and it was my first pregnancy. You might as well be 90.
Mm-hmm.
If you get pregnant at 37 for the first time, I mean, honest to God, you might as well be 90.
And it doesn't help when you go to the doctor and they treat you like you're a 90-year-old.
Yeah. You're how old? Oh. And then, I had issues with gestational diabetes really early on. And so there were lots of doctor's appointments, and I was frustrated with them. And I kind of used that as an excuse to be like, well, I've got all this to deal with, and I can't deal with business stuff because I have all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. When really it probably would have helped me mentally focusing more on the business, because then I would have not focused on all that other crap.
Yeah. And, I think I used it as an excuse too, differently though. For me, it was an excuse to go in and focus on the content stuff and not the rest of the business. And we're a small new business. We need to be focused on selling and growing. And I use it as an excuse to not do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think we kind of had this like lack of focus, except on content. Mm-hmm. We developed an incredible amount of content in 2017. A podcast episode every week for this show, a podcast every week for your other show, all of the HQ content. But then you're right. Like we were like, okay, so look at all this content. Look at everything we did. We did like 100 podcast episodes last year.
Yes. No, we did so much stuff. And I mean, a lot of the stuff you guys haven't even seen, because we either ended up going, well, this isn't what we think it is, or we're going to break this up in different ways. We're going to roll this in here. We're going to do it there. So we did way too much creation this year, and, baby included, I guess, but,
that's good creation.
That's good creation. But, it was a lack of focus on what our company needs now, which is to focus on sales and growing. And hey, there's only a mirror to look at here.
Right. And I think we both have this fear of selling. Neither one of us particularly like to sell, which is why I like content. Content, right? Do lots of content. And so we developed products, which, you can see on our website. There's a whole bunch of products on the website, but we're not very good at mentioning them on the podcast. We're not very good at... We
don't have a sales process really, even at this point, that's well fleshed out.
Right. And so, it's really interesting because so the mentor that we're working with this year, she said it's really important to make sure that you have a net. Because we're really good at attracting fish, right? And I imagine that your business is probably good at this too, right? You go out, you put out content, people read it, they think it's awesome, or they listen to it, they consume it, however they consume it.
You talk to them, everyone loves you.
Right. And it's like, awesome. And then, but you have no net to catch them in, right? You have no sales process. And so, I think when she was talking about that really opened both of our eyes to go, oh, okay, so we have products, we have people, we don't have a net to connect them together.
Well, and even too, if you look at, we have a very, and it's been refined and it's improved a lot this year, our own planning strategy, focus planning. And, and part of that is looking at where your business is and what stages are, and in many ways we're much more advanced than we should be. But the thing really holding us back is our ability to sell, because those pieces aren't in place and our revenue isn't in place because of that.
Right. So, one of the things that we're doing in 2018, as part of our no excuses, is building those nets and building all of those processes. And it's really cool because we're doing this work for our business, but then we're documenting all of it and we're sharing it with our HQ members.
Yeah.
So if this is something that you're struggling with, check out Small Biz HQ, because during the month of January, we have a whole bunch of deals, especially if you pay annually. There's a lot of really cool bonuses. So, go to smallbizlife.com and go check that out. But, I think for us, that's the big thing that we're that we're really working towards this year. And then, I think because we created so much content, we said, well, we have too much to do, right? We can't do all the emails and do all the selling because there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
And I think you made a really good point when we were kind of brainstorming this out, that it's because we didn't do enough planning.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because it's really easy, especially when you're creative, and we both have different types of creative streaks in us. Like me is making up whole worlds and that kind of stuff. So I'm really creative, but so is Kristin. I mean, she creates all kinds of content and curriculum all of the time. And the thing is, we're really good at coming up with ideas, and we're both idea people. So we're telling the other one about an idea, and they're coming up with 3 ideas, and oh, let's run with this, and we start moving down a path and spend a large part of a month going down that path, and then another great idea just shifts all of the momentum and going the other way, because there's no place we're going to except for there. We want to be there, wherever there is, and we enjoy the journey, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying the journey. But if you don't have a destination, when you do navigation, you need to know 2 really important things: where you're going and where you are. And if you don't know those 2 things, you can't navigate, and you really actually need a 3rd point of reference to be able to navigate. But this isn't a land navigation course, so I won't go into too much detail there. But really, you need a focus point, something that you're moving towards, or else you can spend a lot of time and energy zigzagging your way through life, never really moving further ahead, but making these lateral moves back and forth. I'm a business coach. No, I'm a health coach. I'm a life coach. And I see this in coaches a lot, where people just jump side to side, and they spend so much time and energy, and it takes the same amount of energy to move forward, but it's scarier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But it's interesting because one of the things that came out of this, the kind of lack of focus and the lack of planning, or maybe the destructured planning, is that we came up with this really cool planning system called the Focus Master Plan, which kind of takes I know a whole bunch of you did the Dreamcatcher assessment when that was like our free
or at
giveaway.
Least started it, yeah.
This is like the Dreamcatcher assessment on steroids. And it really helped focus
Value-wise, it's on steroids, but in a way, for me, it's simpler. And that's the neat thing with it, is it becomes simpler, where you still have the big ideas, but then it systematically pulls it back to get to your monthly plan, and then it gives you an idea every month where you should be working towards. And then every week you're moving towards your month, and every month you're moving towards your annual, and it makes it a system. So outside of figuring out what that big idea is that you want to get to and what it takes to get there, it becomes easy, because you always know the next thing you're working on. It is always there. It always tells you what your priorities are. Thank you, because I need that. Yeah,
and it's really made it much easier, I think, for both of us to figure out, okay, so this is the next thing. And you don't have to think about it, and you don't get distracted by all the shiny objects that are around you. So, if that's something that you need help with, you can get the Focus Daily Planner for free. Go to smallbizlife.com/focus and check that out, because even like that daily planner piece, that free piece, is so awesome.
And that is slightly modified for people to sort of work into this idea of that there are things in our life and our business, and they can't be separated, because you have one life. So it's not like I can spend 24 hours a day on my business and then on my life, and then you just can't do that. So it kind of gives credence to that. So it's slightly different than what it used to be. But it's still the same idea. But so that in itself is just a great tool. I mean, even if I just use that and I took the time to think about where I want to go and what I'm doing, and does it connect back to it, that in itself is really, you could probably, if you're disciplined, you could use just that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, definitely go check that out if you haven't gotten it, because it's been completely revamped for 2018.
Because I'd say one of our problems, and I kind of mentioned this, is a lack of focus. And the thing was, it's the shiny object syndrome. So, I mean, really, that's no brainer. Go check that out.
Yep, smallbizlife.com/focus. And it'll bring you directly to the sign up for that. So I want you to think about, like, what is stopping you, right? And we kind of wanted to look at, like, some of the main excuses that we've heard from either people in, our free group, people in our paid group.
And we're going to look at it at kind of a meta level because you could use many words to come up. Like the first one is time.
Mm-hmm. We never have enough time.
And that's true. You don't. But the great thing is you know how much time you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, one of the bonuses that we're giving away with Small Biz HQ, if you sign up in January, is we give you this time budgeting course. And when I started time budgeting, and it's funny, I've taught this to college students, I've taught this to business owners, like it is like a light bulb. Because when they actually put down 168 hours down on paper and spend it. It's very similar to the Dave Ramsey budgeting, idea. It's even funny, like college students will come up to me and go, I can't believe how much time that I just waste because I don't have a plan for it.
Yeah. The thing is, once you recognize and figure I have 24 hours a day, and I know we all sleep 7 to 9 hours.
Right, because we all do that.
We all do that, right? But we all say, we have enough time, but then we will like maybe plan for our business, but not for our life. You have to look at yourself holistically. You are more than your business. You are more than your family. You are the sum. You're probably even greater than the sum of the your parts. So don't disrespect yourself. You have to budget your entire day. And you don't need all of the detail for every day going out, but a time budget is a simple concept. You have a certain number of hours. What type of activities am I doing when? And it's sloppy when you first start doing it because then you start looking at it, you try and schedule off of it, and you realize there's more stuff that you didn't think of. But after a couple months, you get it down, and it's really simple to do unless you have a ever-changing schedule.
Right, and I think that, like people ask me, it's funny, the OBGYN practice that we're using, there's like, I don't know, 12 different doctors, and you have to meet with all of them because you don't know who's going to deliver your baby. And so, every single one of them at some point has asked me, well, what do you do for a living? And Jeff just kind of looks at me and looks at the doctor, and I say, okay, well, I am CEO of a digital media company. I'm a CPA with my own CPA practice. I teach full-time at a university, and I run the master's in accounting program at that university. And the doctor just kind of looks at me and like blinks. They go, okay. The only reason that I am able to do that and keep my sanity is because I manage my time really well.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be assigning tasks every, 15 minutes of the day. It's needing to know what you are trying to get done and where you're going. And then blocking time off to say, what type of work am I doing now compared to then? Yep.
And I think that it's critically important, right? Mastering your time. So the next thing that clients often tell me is, well, I don't have enough money.
And like time, there's two things you will never have enough of.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, here's the thing is that time and money really go hand in hand with each other. And if you don't have enough time, a lot of times you can use money to recoup some of your time, right? So you can outsource things. We talk about, I'm a big fan of outsourcing your cleaning, your grocery shopping, your lawn care, admin stuff.
Which is why, in a way, having more money is nicer because it helps you maximize the time which you can't buy more of.
Right. But the thing is, like, and if you're short on money, then you can leverage that with time. But if you don't have time or money, we have a problem.
When I talk about project management or creating things, there are three things, and this works for everything in your life. You have time, money, scope, and quality. Well, there's really four things. And I say you should never skimp on quality, but those are the only four levers you can adjust in your life for creating a new website, for creating a new product for your business, for creating a happy life in your home. That's it. And those are the only things that you can affect. And so you have to be able to control those. And money is a great way, if you start budgeting it, to give yourself a powerful lever, a simple tool to use to help make up on some of those other areas.
Yeah, and it kind of amazed me. We were looking at bringing Jeff home full time. We said, all right, even if the business doesn't make any money the first year, can we do this? Mm-hmm. And we found out that between the CPA firm and and working at the university, those two things, we could pay all of our bills, even if we had to reinvest everything into Ingram Digital Media. Yep. Now, mind you, Ingram Digital Media turned a profit its first year, which was pretty freaking awesome.
Yes.
But we had a plan in place, and it's funny, I still budget like we're $200,000 in debt.
Yes.
And
that's key. It's like, if you ever want to build wealth, it's really simple. You spend less than you make. Mm-hmm. And we do that. And actually, we overestimated how much it would cost, how much money I cost when I came home, because I don't buy a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I'm very thoughtful when I do buy things. And when we look at products for our company or for our lives, we sit there and go, how does this fit in big picture? Can this replace, can this give us more time? What can this do for us?
Yeah, exactly. How is this going to save us money or save us time? Those big important things for us, how, where does that come in? So I think it's critically important that if you're really struggling with that piece, that might be something that you want to devote some time to in 2018 is learning how to better manage your money. So I often have, and I get this a lot from offline businesses. I don't have the skills. I don't know how to write emails. I don't know how to write copy. I don't have the skills. Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of I think the Mark Cuban interview. I forget where we saw that at. And so this one was talking to him about learning to code. And I believe his comment was, and this is paraphrased, not an exact quote, is, hey, if you're getting in a small business that has a application you don't know how to code, you have to learn how to do that because that's your business. Mm-hmm. And whether it's coding or whatever your business is, it's your job to know how to do these parts. And ultimately, when you increase money, you're going to outsource the parts that you really don't like. But the point is, you still have to understand the strategy of them at a minimum. Even if you have a budget going into it, you still need to understand how certain things work so you don't get ripped off.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I really respect about Brendan Burchard is that as he was growing his business, I mean, he at one point did everything in his business. He wrote all the copy, all the emails, did all the graphics. He did everything. And so, and he knew like, okay, these are the things I need to outsource. These are the things I'm not great at. But at least like because my big fear is, I see even a lot of these people that say, okay, I have a coaching program and I want to take my coaching program and bring it online and turn it into a course. But I just want to hand that off to somebody and they tell me what to record and they do all the technical stuff and they write all the sales pages. And I'm sitting there going, what if this person disappears?
Yes. If you lose your business is done.
Right. And that's really the thing is like, I think we have to be careful as business owners in turning over everything because we don't want to learn it.
Yes. And if you don't want to learn it, you should not be going into business for yourself. Maybe you can find a partner who likes that side of things and you're going to pair up, but there are a lot of troubles down those roads too. You know, to be very careful when finding a partner, but if all you want to do is create, you're a worker.
Yeah. And that's, one of the things I find when I'm talking to business owners who are incredibly successful, they are inquisitive people who love to learn new things.
When there's a problem, they dig into it. They don't run away from it.
Right. And that's the thing. So, if you want to be more successful in 2018, you have to become more inquisitive. I love to know how things work and how things break apart. It doesn't mean that I want to do it all the time, but I want to know how things work.
It's kind of like outsourcing your house cleaning. You need to know what a clean house looks like and what it takes to get that house clean, or else you don't know if the person's ripping you off when they're doing the work. And we've heard a lot of sad stories too, where these people are working with someone and the person is way overcharging them for what they're getting. And they have no idea. And sometimes it goes on for years.
Mm-hmm. And I think part of that kind of rolls into the next thing that's stopping a lot of people is their confidence. You know, they don't think that they can succeed. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have people around you that are kind of pulling you down and saying that you can't succeed. That is one of the biggest things that is going to stop you dead in your tracks.
It's one of those, you know, it's really, you got to check your mindset kind of thought right there, you know, and really work on behavioral triggers that you can use to get past those moments. Because no matter how confident you are, everyone has moments where they lose their confidence. Mm-hmm. And the faster you can get through those moments, the more successful you will be. You know, if you don't know how to get through that now, should be high on your skills to learn list, is like, how do I create a behavior trigger to get my emotion and energy going when I don't feel the confidence, so I have the courage to go into those uncharted waters? Yeah,
and I'd highly recommend, we'll put a link in the show notes, read The Charge by Brendan Burchard. Mm-hmm. That is such a great book. When what's stopping you is your confidence or it's you, that is an amazing book to read.
Charge.
So we'll put a link in the show notes. You know, and that's the thing, and sometimes it's us, right? We get into this mindset, and a lot of women have this problem where they feel like they don't deserve to be successful, or, well, you know, and I see this from a lot of Christians, and I love you all, but, you know, well, as Christians, we shouldn't be wealthy people. We shouldn't, you know, Jesus was ministered and he was poor, and, you know, Jesus had a lot of backers. Mm-hmm. You know, there were a lot of wealthy people who helped to fund his ministry.
And if you're one of those unfortunate people in December who was stuck in the Atlanta airport, if it wasn't for a wealthy Christian who had built this Chick-fil-A business, they would have been starving in the airport in Atlanta.
Yeah. No, that was amazing. I actually read that story this morning that the mayor of Atlanta called the owner of Chick-fil-A and said, can you please help us feed these people in the airport? Because, you know, the power was out for 12 hours. And, you know, think about, you know, if you're a religious person, or, you know, if you're just a good person, you know, and I think, you know, the people who listen to the show, interacting with this community, you're amazing people. You deserve to be wealthy, because I want to see the things you do with it. Yes. Because I see what you're doing. You know, I know some of you are struggling. I know some of you, you know, you're doing okay. I could not imagine what you guys could do if you had major wealth resources.
I mean, think about this, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people in this community are big in charity and giving, and which is awesome. We're big proponents of that. So I'm sure that's probably one of the reasons why you listen to us. But the thing is, imagine if by the end of next year, you 10x'd your income. What would that mean for the people who you give money to? You could give more. Maybe there's people you wish you could give money to now, and you just don't have enough. What if you could 10x? If you could 10x your income, you can 10x your giving.
Yep. Oh, and I'll tell you, it's funny because when we've always been givers, you know, but when we paid off the debt, we started giving away a lot more. And it was so cool to be like, okay, this person has an issue, you know, we can give money, or the toy drive doesn't have, you know, they're short on things. You know, I remember going out, you know, shortly after we kind of paid stuff off, and like taking this big list from the toy drive, and just like, I had a blast at Toys R Us that day. And it was so much fun to like be involved and know that you made a difference to people. So, you know, those of you that say, you know, we shouldn't have money, or, you know, we're not the right types of people to have money, imagine what you could do with it.
I mean, who do you think should have the money? People who are the kind who don't like to give, who don't want to help other people. And And because there are plenty of people who have a lot of money who are that kind of person too. But the thing is, if you're a good person, you can do more good if you have more resources.
Right.
And that's an excuse. That is not a reality. That's a mindset problem, and it's about yourself.
That's right.
I mean, what does it say? And I have met people who say, I don't trust myself if I have money. What are you telling me that you don't trust yourself? Why should I trust you now?
Yeah, and I think there's, a lot of people have mindset issues around money and confidence and worth. And, if that's you, we're going to be talking about things like that, in 2018. So, we want to wrap up with some tips, okay, for you. So, if you're not a member of our Facebook group, our free Facebook group, make sure that you join the Small Biz Life community. We'll put the link in the show notes, but become active in there. Feel free to ask questions, ask for help, ask for support. I think it's critically important that as small business owners, we have community around us. So that would be the first thing. If you need assistance with, building your business, creating your goals, finding that time that you need, cutting things back. One of the things that we love to do is we love to help business owners cut the crap out of their business, right? Because we know that there's more to life than just working. So, consider becoming an HQ member. It's $39 a month if you pay monthly. We're getting lots of great content for you for 2018. And it's skills and it's, time management, and we're going to go into money management, and it's a great community and a great support, and you get access to the two of us. Yeah. Which is really cool.
And more important than me, our members are amazing people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we do daily accountability Monday through Friday. It's a really cool support system. For $39 a month, I mean, it's just, it's an unbelievable value. And, if you can't go there, if you're not at that point yet, get the Focus Planner for free, right? Opt in for that. If you got the 2017 version, go back, go to smallbizlife.com/focus, get the 2018 version, because we've updated it to make it even better for you. So we hope that you will take some time, think about what excuses you're using, and come up with a plan. And listen, post in the Facebook group, like, this is the excuse that I keep hearing in my head.
Yeah, especially like if you don't see the plan, definitely this is where the group's going to shine for you.
Right. So, but feel free, like, post in there. Let us help you work that out. And let's come together as a group and support each other. So thank you so much. Let's have an awesome 2018. No more excuses.
#.
This was Small Biz Life.